A seemingly minor omission in pharmaceutical documentation can lead to significant financial repercussions. The scenario highlights the critical importance of meticulous record-keeping in the pharmaceutical industry. Even a single missing line in a batch record can trigger substantial losses. This underscores the need for stringent documentation practices and quality control measures. The 1,960 seconds marked a turning point in drug manufacturing regulations due to a series of drug-related disasters. These incidents prompted investigations by the United States Food and Drug Administration, USFDA. The investigations revealed critical flaws in drug manufacturing and documentation processes. This led to the enactment of the Kefauver-Harris Drug Amendment in 1962. The amendment mandated stringent standards for drug manufacturing and documentation practices. GDP in logbook context means write what you do and do what you write. This emphasizes the need for records to be legible and accurate. Records must also be complete, providing a full account of activities. Entries should be contemporaneous, recorded at the time of the event. ALCOA plus principles ensure data integrity through specific attributes. These attributes include attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, accurate, complete, consistent, enduring, and available. Each attribute plays a critical role in maintaining the reliability and trustworthiness of data. Attributable means it is possible to determine who recorded the data and when. Legible ensures the data is readable and understandable. A manufacturing plant faced a critical issue during a USFDA audit. The failure to accurately record the centrifuge start time led to a batch rejection. This oversight resulted in significant financial losses for the company. The incident also caused reputational damage to the manufacturing plant. Common errors in GDP records can trigger audits. Blank spaces in GDP entries are considered a red flag. Overwriting without proper notation raises concerns. Backdating entries is a significant mistake. Using short forms without clear explanations is problematic. Creating duplicate records can lead to audit remarks or warning letters. GDP rules mandate writing in real time with a black pen for accuracy. Errors must be corrected with a single line, followed by a signature and date. Empty fields should be marked with NA to indicate they were intentionally left blank. Signing documents is only permitted after completing the required training. Proper filing and preservation of records are essential for compliance and auditing. GDP is not merely about regulatory compliance within the pharmaceutical industry. It signifies a commitment to establishing a culture of truth and integrity. Honest and accurate documentation are essential components of this culture. Adherence to GDP principles leads to professional success and a respected reputation. The ALCOA plus principle of attributable emphasizes clear accountability for data entries. Every record must explicitly state who created the entry. The record must also include the date and time when the entry was made. This ensures that all data can be traced back to its source and timestamp. Without proper attribution, the validity and reliability of the data are questionable. For example, a temperature record lacking a signature or timestamp is considered invalid. The ALCOA plus principle emphasizes that all data entries must be legible. Legibility ensures clarity and prevents misinterpretation of recorded information. Illegible handwriting on a record compromises its usability. Unreadable records are subject to rejection due to their lack of clarity. Clear and readable entries are essential for data integrity and reliability. Therefore, prioritize legibility in all data recording practices to maintain data quality. ALCOA plus principles emphasize that documentation should be contemporaneous. Contemporaneous documentation means recording data at the moment the work is performed. Delaying documentation until later compromises data integrity and reliability. Backdating entries, such as waiting until the end of a shift, violates this principle. ALCOA plus principles emphasize maintaining data integrity throughout its lifecycle.
The original record serves as the authoritative source of information.
Preservation of the initial record is crucial for maintaining data accuracy and reliability. Submitting a photocopy instead of the original requires proper justification. Unjustified substitution of originals with copies compromises data integrity. Maintaining the original record ensures traceability and accountability in data management. The ALCOA Plus principle emphasizes data accuracy as a critical component of data integrity. Entries must reflect true and precise values, avoiding any form of guesswork. Estimation and approximation are not acceptable under the accuracy tenet. Rounding off values compromises the accuracy and reliability of the data. Adhering to this principle ensures the data's integrity and its suitability for decision-making. ALCO Plus principles emphasize the importance of complete records. Every section of a record must be fully filled out to ensure a comprehensive account. Blank spaces indicate incompleteness, raising concerns about data integrity. Complete records are essential for reliable and trustworthy data. Documentation practices must follow a standardized format across all batches. Standardization ensures uniformity in documentation. Uniformity facilitates easy comparison between different batches. Inconsistent formatting can lead to confusion and errors. Adhering to standards minimizes potential issues arising from documentation. Maintaining records requires ensuring their long-term preservation. Readability of records over time is a critical aspect of their enduring quality. The materials used, such as ink, must be selected to prevent degradation. Using ink that fades compromises the enduring quality of the record. ALCO Plus principle emphasizes that records should be readily available. Accessibility ensures records can be promptly reviewed and inspected when required. Efficient storage facilitates easy retrieval, crucial for audits and assessments. Difficult to retrieve records impede the audit process and compromise data integrity. Contemporaneous documentation requires records to be made at the time of an event. The operator failed to record the centrifuge start time immediately. Delaying documentation, even with intent to complete later, violates protocol. This negligence represents a breach of contemporaneous documentation standards. During a USFDA audit, data integrity is a critical focus. An inspector identifies inconsistencies between recorded data and system logs. Specifically, the start time recorded differs from the system log. This discrepancy raises concerns about the accuracy of the data. Such inconsistencies can lead to further investigation into data handling practices. A critical discrepancy arises during a quality control check. The operator is unable to provide a satisfactory explanation for the anomaly. Due to the unresolved discrepancy, the entire batch is rejected. Rejection of the batch leads to significant financial losses for the company. The incident negatively impacts the company's reputation and standing. Operator error and lack of explanation resulted in tangible negative consequences. Leaving blank spaces in records is a common GDP violation. Blank spaces compromise data integrity. Data integrity ensures that information is accurate and reliable. Blank spaces also affect data completeness. Complete data provides a full and comprehensive picture. These violations raise concerns about the overall quality of the records. Overwriting entries without proper notation is a common error in GDP documentation. Proper notation includes a signature to identify the person making the change. The date of the alteration must also be recorded. Failure to properly notate changes can lead to audit findings. Audit findings indicate discrepancies or non-compliance in record keeping. Maintaining accurate and properly documented records is essential for GDP compliance. Backdating refers to entering information at a time later than when the activity actually occurred. This practice is a violation of good documentation practice, GDP. Backdating compromises the integrity and accuracy of records. Accurate and timely documentation is essential for reliable data and compliance. Using abbreviations without explanation is a common error in GDP-related contexts. Unexplained short forms can easily lead to misinterpretations of data. Clarity is crucial when discussing or reporting gross domestic product figures. Always provide a clear explanation of any abbreviations used. This ensures accurate understanding and prevents potential mistakes. Duplicate records refer to the creation of multiple entries for the same entity or data point. This redundancy can lead to confusion and inaccuracies within a dataset. Maintaining data integrity requires eliminating such duplicate entries. Duplicate records violate the principles of data governance and quality. Proper data management practices are essential to prevent the creation and persistence of duplicate records. Real-time data entry is crucial for accurate GDP calculation. Documenting information as it occurs is a fundamental rule. This ensures the data reflects the current economic activity. Timely recording enhances the reliability of GDP figures. Accurate and reliable data is essential for effective economic analysis. Standard GDP practices ensure data, integrity, and consistency. Using a black pen for all entries is a common requirement. Black ink enhances legibility, making records easier to read and interpret. The use of black pen also ensures permanence of the recorded data. Permanent records are crucial for long-term data retention and analysis. Adhering to these standards promotes reliable and accurate GDP calculations. The correct procedure for error correction involves a specific set of steps. Draw a single line through the incorrect entry to indicate the error. Sign the correction to acknowledge responsibility for the change. Date the correction to provide a timestamp for when the change was made. Following these steps ensures proper documentation and accountability in the GDP. When a data field is genuinely empty or has no applicable value, a specific protocol should be followed. The correct procedure is to enter NA, which stands for not applicable, into the field. Using NA clearly indicates that the field's emptiness is intentional and not an oversight. This practice prevents unauthorized additions or alterations to the data in the future. Signing records is a critical step in maintaining data integrity and accountability. Personnel should only sign records after completing relevant training programs. Adequate training ensures a thorough understanding of responsibilities. This understanding is essential for adhering to good documentation practice, GDP, principles. Signing without proper training can lead to errors and non-compliance. Therefore, post-training signatures validate competence and adherence to standards. Filing and preserving records correctly ensures their accessibility. Proper filing protects records from damage. It also safeguards them against loss. Therefore, correct filing is crucial for record management. GDP compliance extends beyond mere regulatory adherence. It embodies a culture of truth and transparency within an organization. This culture prioritizes integrity in all data and processes related to GDP. Adopting this perspective ensures more reliable and ethical GDP reporting. Accurate documentation should be viewed as a matter of professional pride. It also reflects a strong sense of ethical responsibility. Reinforcing this idea is crucial for maintaining high standards. This perspective elevates documentation beyond a mere task. A single data entry can significantly influence the outcome of an entire batch. This highlights the critical role of each individual piece of information. Meticulous documentation is essential to ensure accuracy and reliability. The fate of a batch depends on the precision of its constituent entries. Therefore, rigorous attention to detail is paramount in data management. Honest documentation involves creating accurate and truthful records of activities and events. Documenting honestly contributes to building a positive reputation. Accurate records provide a reliable basis for evaluating performance and progress. A positive reputation enhances trust and credibility with colleagues and superiors. Trust and credibility are essential for career advancement and professional opportunities. Therefore, honest documentation directly contributes to a personal success story. The USFDA places significant emphasis on data integrity in regulated industries. Incomplete records are explicitly identified as non-compliant by the USFDA. Altered records are also considered non-compliant under USFDA regulations. This underscores the critical importance of maintaining accurate and complete data. Data integrity is essential for ensuring the reliability and validity of regulated processes. The World Health Organization, WHO, places significant emphasis on data integrity. Data integrity is crucial for ensuring the reliability and validity of records. According to the WHO, incomplete records are considered non-compliant. Altered records are also explicitly identified as non-compliant by the WHO. Adhering to good documentation practice, GDP, guidelines is crucial for audit preparedness. GDP compliance ensures that organizations maintain accurate and complete records. Proper documentation facilitates efficient and effective audits. Audit readiness minimizes the likelihood of adverse audit findings. This proactive approach helps organizations maintain regulatory compliance and operational integrity. Adhering to good documentation practice, GDP, principles is crucial for organizations. GDP compliance can lead to significant cost savings. One major saving comes from avoiding costly batch rejections. Batch rejections often result from inadequate or inaccurate documentation. GDP ensures that documentation is complete, consistent, and reliable. This adherence minimizes the risk of financial penalties associated with non-compliance. Comprehensive training on GDP principles is essential. Training ensures all personnel understand their roles. Clear understanding of responsibilities is vital for accurate GDP calculation. Effective training minimizes errors in data collection and reporting. Proper training promotes consistent application of GDP methodologies. This leads to more reliable and comparable economic data. Management support is crucial for successful gross domestic product, GDP, initiatives. Strong leadership fosters a culture of compliance within the organization. This support ensures the integrity and reliability of GDP data. Effective management promotes adherence to established GDP measurement standards. Continuous improvement fosters proactive adaptation to changing regulatory standards. It involves regularly evaluating and refining documentation processes. This mindset ensures that the documentation remains current and compliant. Staying ahead of evolving requirements minimizes compliance risks. Adopting continuous improvement enhances overall documentation, quality, and reliability. GDP, good distribution practice, plays a crucial role in mitigating risks. It specifically addresses risks associated with product quality throughout the distribution process. GDP also focuses on ensuring patient safety by maintaining the integrity of medicinal products. Adherence to GDP standards helps in complying with pharmaceutical regulations. This compliance reduces the risk of regulatory penalties and market withdrawals. Effective GDP implementation safeguards the supply chain and protects public health. Focusing on long-term GDP benefits enhances a company's reputation. A strong reputation leads to increased customer trust and loyalty. Enhanced trust fosters stronger customer relationships and repeat business. Ultimately, these factors contribute to sustainable business growth and long-term success. Accurate GDP documentation carries a significant ethical responsibility. This responsibility extends to both patients and the broader public. Ethical conduct necessitates a commitment to truthful and precise record-keeping. This ensures the integrity and reliability of healthcare data. Such practices are vital for maintaining public trust in healthcare systems. Therefore, accurate documentation is a moral obligation within the GDP framework. GDP principles are globally recognized standards. These principles are followed worldwide in the pharmaceutical industry. This underscores their universal importance. Adherence to GDP ensures quality and consistency in pharmaceutical products across different regions. A future-focused approach to GDP involves proactive anticipation of upcoming economic challenges. This approach requires continuous adaptation of GDP documentation practices. Adapting documentation ensures GDP remains relevant and accurate in a changing economic landscape. Forward-looking strategies help in identifying potential areas of economic growth or decline. This enables policymakers to make informed decisions based on projected GDP trends. Ultimately, a future-oriented GDP approach enhances economic resilience and stability. Teamwork is essential for maintaining accurate and reliable documentation. Collaboration ensures that diverse perspectives are considered. Shared responsibility enhances the quality of documentation processes. Effective teamwork leads to more trustworthy and consistent records. Meticulous attention to detail is crucial in all documentation activities. Even minor errors in documentation can lead to significant consequences. These consequences can range from simple misunderstandings to critical operational failures. Accuracy in recording data ensures reliability and validity of information. Therefore, diligence in documentation is essential for maintaining integrity and avoiding potential problems. GDP, in the context of pharmaceutical manufacturing, signifies a commitment to excellence. This commitment extends to all facets of the manufacturing process. It also encompasses the meticulous documentation required in pharmaceutical production. Adherence to GDP standards ensures product quality and safety. Therefore, GDP represents a holistic approach to pharmaceutical excellence.